First pick in the 1996 NBA draft, the Philadelphia 76ers select Allen Iverson from Georgetown University.
What is good, YouTube? It's your boy, Young Kurd, Hudson Gualiano, and today we are going to be doing our, NBA 2020 playoff, if it continues. So, a couple things about me before I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted, but I'm a Boston Celtics fan. I'm a diehard Boston Celtics fan. Even before we had Garnett and Rondo, and we had Antoine Walker and Paul Pierce. I'm going to be 20 years old coming up soon, and I'm an old head. I love all the old basketball, Walt Family, Bill Russell, all that. So I think that I'm way more informed than some of these YouTubers. King of the Fourth Quarter, though, he has some very valid points, and he knows what he's talking about. But basically just trying to make a name for myself. You know, I work a regular job, and it never makes me happy. This is what I like to do, talk about basketball. So the things that I'm reading off, if I can show you, I don't know if you'll be able to see, but it's we're doing the 1 through 8 seed right here. Playoff predictions, if everything stays the same. Got the Ben Wallace jersey. My bad, slipping off. All right, so let's just get into it. Let's do this is gonna be kind of like a podcast, I guess, because my editing skills suck, but I know what I'm talking about. Okay. So let's do our predictions if the season comes back the 31st. So in the beginning of the year, I had Gary Harris and Lonzo Ball, and I don't remember who else I had as most improved player. But obviously, we all know that it's Karis LeVert or Brandon Ingram. I gotta go Ingram. Top 15 player in the league right now. Handles, jump, fast, sneaky bounce. 6'10", almost like a Kevin Durant build. I don't see the Pelicans not making the playoffs over the Grizzlies, but the Grizzlies are just so far ahead. If they do that 8-game thing, it might be the Grizzlies. So we got to go Portland, Grizzlies, or Pelicans. We're just going to keep it at the list I'm looking at here for the playoffs. And then for MVP, I got LeBron, just because I feel like LeBron's been robbed before. 4-time MVP. How can you not love the guy? I'm a diehard Celtics fan, and I know I live in LA. I get the hate, but LeBron is one of the top 2, if not the greatest player of all time. So I gotta give it to LeBron. 27-9 on a Laker team that's in first place. Giannis, I think Harden deserved it last year, so they could give it to Giannis, but I think that if LeBron were not to get it this year, he would get robbed just like Kobe got robbed versus Nash. And I love Nash. I got a Nash jersey right here. But anyway, 6th man of the year, Montrezl Harrell. Gotta go Montrez. I have never seen somebody make that big of a jump in the NBA. He's playing inspiring basketball with the Clippers. I bumped into him over with my ex-girl over in Huntington. He's tall, and he shows it on the court. He's not like a 7-footer. He's like a 6'9", but he can rebound. He's an undersized big man. He reminds me of like Wes Unseld, Walt Family, like all those guys, like a Rodman type guy. He gets it done. All right. And then most improved, I said that. MVP, 6th man of the year, coach of the year, Nick Nurse. I do love the Jazz coach. I think he's so smart and analytically and all that. He's great, but I got to go Nick Nurse, because if I would have seen that Raptors team last year, they got almost carried by Kawhi Leonard. If you would have told me they were going to be a 2 seed right now, I would have laughed in your face. I would have laughed. So, yeah. So let's just get it started. I got to fix my jersey real quick. All right. So let's go ahead and pull up this list right here. Oh, and Depoy. A lot of people are going to hate me on this, but I got Marcus Smart. almost 2-3 steals a game. We haven't seen somebody average a category beside points, assists, and blocks since like David Robinson when he averaged 3 blocks a game. Yeah, David Robinson, Hakeem Olajuwon averaged 3 blocks a game, but Smart's almost averaging like 2-3 steals, and I think he's a better defender than Patrick Beverley, but he goes under the radar. We can't give it to Gobert. All the homies hate Gobert right now. But let's go with that Laker-Grizzly matchup. I like Ja. He's rookie of the year by far. No said. I see people saying Zion. Zion didn't play enough games. It's kind of like that Ben Simmons deal. We'll get to the Ben Simmons hate later. But I got Ja rookie of the year. I love Josh Jackson Jr. I think he's gonna be an all-star. Brandon Clark. They have a lot of young talent. Grayson Allen, he can score points off the bench. I like Jonas Valanciunas. Who's that shooter that they have that's nice? Oh, yeah, Dylan Brooks. I like him a lot, too. Gorgie Dang. So, it's just the Lakers. We'll get to the Lakers because they're going to go far in the playoffs. But the Lakers have the best interior defense in the league. Dwight Howard, Anthony Davis, LeBron James. If DeMarcus Cousins comes back, we all know that. But where they're lacking is perimeter defense. Avery Bradley's a phenomenal one-on-one defender. So is Rajon Rondo. Caldwell Pope, here and there. Alex Caruso, yeah, they can play defense, but as a unit on the wing, they don't play good defense together. Their fast break game is tremendous. I got Lakers in 6. I see the Grizzlies taking maybe a game or 2 at home. Ja's the closest thing we've seen to Allen Iverson. I'm worried that something's going to happen to him, like what happened to Allen Iverson, you know? I'm worried that something's going to happen to him, like he got blackballed, or like Derrick Rose where he gets injured, because his athleticism makes him insane. He's more athletic than Zion to a point. He's pound per pound the best rookie in the since we've seen in the past. I think Derrick Rose would have been a top 5 point guard, but Ja's something else. So let's go Lakers Grizzlies. Yeah, I got Lakers winning in 6. Let's say 6. It's probably gonna be 5. If it was that Portland Lakers, if they skied in, I could see the Portland taking them 7. Now let's go Jazz Thunder. This is an interesting series because I am a Chris Paul hater. I see him on top 30 list everywhere. I don't think he's a top 30 player of all time. You can't look at the accolades. Paul Pierce is better than him. Ray Allen's better than him. I know Klay Thompson's better than him. You just have to look at accolades when it comes to a point that he was good in his generation. Bogdanovich has to step up to the plate. I've said this in the past. He is making $17 million a year or something, and he doesn't get it done in the playoffs. Clarkson is a great addition. I'm glad that they got rid of Exum. We'll talk about him later. He's a bust. Gobert, obviously, you know what you're going to get from him. Now, this is the X factor. We know Royce O'Neal. We know those players off the bench are going to play well. We know that what Gobert is going to bring to the table. We know that Emmanuel Mudiay, all those guys are going to... And we know Donovan Mitchell, obviously, is going to average 25 and 8. But this is the X factor, Mike Conley. Mike Conley is the most overpaid NBA athlete of all time. He is... Let me pull this up. Mike Conley is making $32 million a year. 32.5. He averages 11 points this year. And I just haven't seen anything impressive out of him on the Jazz. So he's the X factor for me in a sense. And then if we pull up, Chris Paul is probably the second most overpaid athlete in the league. Chris Paul is making $38 million a year. Damn. So I know they got Gallinari in that Clipper trade. I know they have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I think he's gonna be something else. He reminds me of just a bouncy, what? I don't even know. Like a Gerald Green. He can jump, he can get to the basket, all that. I like Ferguson. I think he's a good defensive player. He needs to step up and shoot the 3. I know there's that rookie Blazely. He's decent. Schroeder, Steven Adams, you know what he's gonna do. It's honestly all on Chris Paul, but I got Jazz in 6. I got Jazz in 6. And I'm sticking with that because we've all seen that Chris Paul doesn't have a playoff mentality. He did it versus the Spurs once when he hit that game winner, but I don't see it. All right, Nuggets, Rockets. Whew, this is a tough one. I like Harden. I think we've never seen anybody play the game like him before. I like Westbrook. Same time, LA boy. He can play the game too. But I don't know if you guys have seen those pictures of Jokic lately. He has gotten in shape. So let's bring this up. I think that Bobo will be a bust. I don't think he will ever play more than 10 NBA games. I think that they have Troy Daniels off the bench from the Lakers. Am I right? They cut Isaiah Thomas, which was a nice addition. I think that Jamal Murray is a good playoff player. They choked last year versus Portland. I like MPJ a lot. I think he could have been Rookie of the Year. That dude was nasty in high school. I like Plumlee. I like Jamal Murray. Jokic is going to be an MVP in the next 2 years. And did you see his weight loss, bro? That he's going to be unstoppable. Millsap, I think Millsap's the X factor because we know Millsap can be a all-star caliber player, but he hasn't been getting it done lately. And Will Barton, I like him a lot too off the bench. So yeah, I could see an upset, but it's definitely going 7. It's definitely going 7. I know that the Rockets got Damari Carroll, Ben McLemore in a trade. I like Tyson Chandler a lot. I think he's a Hall of Famer. PJ Tucker, Russell Westbrook. I know they got Doc Rivers' kid, Harden, Daniel House Jr. Honestly, if Harden has a monster series, I think that easily the Rockets could win. Because people forget Westbrook's a top 35 player of all time. He's the next Oscar Robinson. He averaged a triple-double 2 seasons in a row. Like, people don't understand how nice Westbrook is. And I know people say, yeah, he pads his stat. I agree with that, but to some point, what he's doing is crazy. They got that Chris Clemens guy out of Clemson. I like him a lot too. So I'm going to do Nuggets in 7. Nuggets in 7. Now, this is an interesting one. Clippers, Mavs. So, I watched Kawhi play 3 times this year just because the tickets were so cheap. He's different. He is different. I still think LeBron's better, but he is different. I like Beverly in a playoff matchup. He gets into people's heads. I like Harrell. You know what Lou Will's going to do. Best 6-man of all time besides Ginobili. You know what they got Joakim Noah. I like Zubac a lot. I think the Lakers made a big mistake in trading him. They got Reggie Jackson. I know they got Morris from us. He's a monster. So I gotta go. But then at the same time, you look at this Mavericks team, and Luka Doncic is in 3rd runner-up for the MVP this year. I'm just trying to pull up